to know what it was that I wanted to do. And for me, that was to become the greatest basketball player that I could possibly become. And basketball for me was a way out. It was not something that I just wanted, but it was something I felt I needed. You know, I didn't know statistically, I didn't get the memo when I was young that I had a better chance statistically at becoming a doctor than a basketball player. I didn't know that. You know, because we see images of athletes and entertainers and so, oh man, and money and the fame. So, well man, you know, I'm athletic, I'm kind of fast, I got a chance at this. So, I knew basketball was something that I wanted. So early on I charted out a course, I charted out a plan to say, you know what, at 9 years old, so I need to figure out how to best reach this goal, how to best become successful at this. So at the age of 9, I would wake up at 4 something in the morning, and I would be out my door. I would wait to see my mother leave. She had to be to work at 5. Excuse me. And when she would leave, I would leave, and it would still be dark outside. And I had 3 courts in different directions that I would go to. And I would go to this court, and on my way to the basketball court, and this is a 9-year-old kid thinking like this. I'm thinking, man, I got to put the weight of my family on my back. You know, I'm putting all this with this. This is the only chance I got, and it's sad that I thought this way. You know, but this is the way I thought. You know, I didn't know all of these details. So I'm like, I'm thinking that as this, I got to put the work. I got to get my mother and my brothers out of the ghetto. I got to get them out. And so I would wake up at 4 something in the morning. And when I see my mother leave, and she didn't know for years that I was doing this. When she would leave, I'm out the door and it's dark and I'm going down the court. I'm dribbling on my way to the basketball court, and I'm imagining I'm playing against an invisible person. And wherever I dribble, I'm imagining he's always this close, fingertips hitting the ball. Even when I'm shooting, this close. Because in my thinking, I'm saying, you know what? The imagination is the strongest thing you have. If I can beat my imagination, if I can escape my imagination, human being can't stay with you like your imagination can. So this is the way I train. And and I would go to this court and I would train so hard that there were times literally I thought I was going to die. And I'm not, Allah is my witness. And this is an elementary student. You're doing this. And it didn't matter if it was hot outside, it didn't matter if it was cold, it didn't matter if it was, I would be getting dressed. And I'm not saying that you have to go to this extreme, but this is how bad I wanted it. This is how I saw myself. You know, I saw myself as basketball was something that I thought defined me, made me who I was. You know, so I used basketball to get notoriety. I used basketball for a lot of things. Because again, I didn't see myself outside of being a basketball player. So I put all my marbles in that basket. And there were days when I would be getting dressed and you would hear the thunder. It would be dark. The rain would be coming down. Torrential rain. And I'm talking about lightning. You hear it. And I'm walking out the door like the sun is shining. I'm oblivious to all of that. I'm unaware of all of that. All I can think about, I gotta make it. I just gotta make it. And I would do that year in and year out. I would come home sometimes, my hands would be frostbitten. Allah's my witness, frostbitten. And I didn't know that you're not supposed to put hot water on cold hands. And I would come in and I'm gonna be dramatical. I really want you to get the picture. And I'm coming in the house and I'm turning on the faucet. And it feels like needles going through my hands. You know, and finally when I get warm, and if we have anything to eat or whatever, I make me syrup sandwiches, sugar water, all of those things. I get warm, I'm back out the door again. I'm training. This is the way it was. There were times I would train so hard, I couldn't catch my breath. I thought and tears would fall. I'm like, oh my goodness, Allah. I didn't say Allah at the time, but I'm taking this too serious. I need to slow down. You know, and this is how I would constantly train. But Allah is great. Allah is the greatest because what's amazing about all of that, I used to come home. I used to take time out to come home, and I would close my blinds. Curtains. We didn't have blinds. Curtains. We didn't have central air and heat, so I put a fan in the window. And I would close it and make it dark. And I would lay down. And they use the word meditate nowadays. I would pray. I would think. I would dream. I would dream big. I would see myself in the NBA. I would see myself doing great things with basketball. And the more I dreamt it, the more it felt like I could touch it. But not only would I dream it, I would go out and I would try to implement it. And the more I did that, by the grace and mercy of Allah, it's like when you decide to do something, when you make a decision to do something, and you move in the direction of that decision, Allah begins to open up doors for you. And I remember in elementary school, I used to play against older guys all the time. And I used to envision myself, I would work hard and religiously. It got to the point where I was in elementary and we played a team, Westminster, and the score was 43-46. They won, but I had 42 of our 43 points. One game we lost 36-42. I had all 36. Wow. And then the word, started getting, now who is this guy? Right? And so this is Allah, and I started seeing the improvement. I started seeing the notoriety coming. And again, I'm gonna be brief. As I began to play, I move on to junior high school. I'm in the 7th grade, playing for the 9th grade, starting all 3 years, putting up numbers. When I was in the 7th grade, I was playing for the 10th grade AAU team, leading them in scoring 21 a game. But what's interesting is that even before that, when I was in elementary school, and I remember when I decided to do this, I'm gonna go backtrack just a little bit. There was a lady named Miss Cookie. She was an aggressive old lady. She always was looking for talent, trying to place you. And I was playing on the playground, right on the school's campus. And right next door, literally I could throw a rock and hit it, there was a gym. And kids were in there trying out for elementary school. I didn't know it. I was playing with my brothers, 21. Miss Cookie drove up. She said, at the time my name was Chris. Chris, come here. I walked over and said, yes ma'am. She said, go in there and try out. I said, well, Miss Cookie, you're going to have to ask my mother. Yeah. She don't worry about that. You just go in there and try out. She saw something in me. I went in there. I never played organized ball before. And I remember when I got out there on the court, I was dribbling through everybody. Because I'm thinking it's 5-on-5, but I'm thinking game of 21. First one to 21. Coach had this stuff. He said, hey son, you're going to have to learn how to pass a little bit. And my first game, I had 21 points. And I did it for me. Wow. And so I kept training. So I go through junior high. I get to high school. Before I even enter my high school career, my high school years, I was already labeled as the first team All-State before I played one high school game. There's a lot, this is a lot of pressure. And I'm taking it all in. And I came from a Christian background, so I prayed all the time. Always praying to God, praying and trying to move in the direction of my prayers. Praying, trying to move in the direction of my prayers. Hoping that God will answer my prayers. And they labeled me as the first team All-State. I get into high school. Allah is the greatest. Everything throughout my career that I dreamt. There's an old saying, I think, in psychology or whatever, that so as you think it, so shall it be. If you think it hard enough and you move in that direction, it better chance of coming like everything, 90-some% of what I thought about, it happened the way I thought about it. Because I put forth that effort, I kept God first, kept Allah first. And I continued when that mental amnesia sometimes get me. What was I just saying?
Put God first.
Before that. All-State. I'm going through high school, alhamdulillah, and my high school career, my first year in high school, I averaged 21. My second year, I averaged 32. My third year, my senior year, I averaged 28. We won the state back-to-back. I'm getting letters from all over the country. Georgetown, North Carolina, you name it. I don't think there's a school that I get a letter from. I go to Princeton, New Jersey. going into my 11th and 12th grade year, I get invited to Princeton, New Jersey. And I've been working out hard, been praying. I'm in Princeton, New Jersey, the top 110, quote, of the best in the nation. This is my first time ever getting on the plane, never going out of state. I was nervous, didn't want to fly, don't like flying, but I said, hey, I've come too far to turn back now. I gotta do it. So I get on that flight, I go. There's a scout there. They said he's never given anyone a 5, which was the highest score. 2 years in a row, he gave me a 5. And I was coming out of high school as the #1 guard in the nation. 1 year Jordan happened to have been there. Michael Jordan. We're sitting in the bleachers. I'm on the bottom row. He begins to talk to us, talking to us about the NBA, what it's like, how intense it is, and all of that. He picks me out of the crowd, asks me to come on the court. He gives me the ball. He says, young fella, I want you to try to come at me real hard. Give me the best you got. I look at him. I'm not scared. I'm looking at this. This is an opportunity. Because I've been working my behind off. This is my opportunity to see right now if my training is paying off, where I am, where I stand with who they say is the best. I'm going either the 11 or going to the 12. I get the ball. I give him a jab, and I take left. I'm going. I'm moving fast as my feet will let me, like my life depends on it. I can feel him, hear him breathing down my neck. I go up and I reach out to the goal. I can see his hand close. I flip it up, bam, score. The high school's like, oh! And my insides are like, oh my goodness, man. He gives it to me again. I'm like, I'm not gonna do the same thing. So I get it, I'm in place, I go through my legs, I cross him over, I go to the right. Same thing, laid it up. Ball comes out, get it. He asks for the ball back, asks me to go sit down. They're going crazy. I was going crazy. I was acting like, I was cool. If you saw me, the outside of me looked cool. I was acting like I do it all the time. But inside, oh my goodness, man, I just scored on Jordan twice. And it was easy. Wait till I go home and tell my boys about this. I was excited. But what that did for me, it didn't, sometimes things like that happen, we get relaxed. We feel I'm already there. Can't tell me nothing. That made me want to work harder because I wanted that feeling all the time. I wanted to get that feeling all the time. And so I go through college, getting all of these things. I go through high school. I go to LSU. My first year in LSU, I remember the journalist, he asked me, he says, what do you want your career to say for itself when it's over? I was so serious. I'm coming from a small town in Mississippi. I'm in college now. I'm going to be playing against guys 6'5", 6'6", 6'4", they be stronger, faster, all of that. Jump higher. I looked at him, I said, man, I didn't say man, I said, if I could average 13 points and 7 assists a game for my career at LSU, I think that'll be decent. My first game at LSU, I had about 12, 13, and 7. I said, okay, I met the first game standards. Second game, I had 21. I noticed something though. I said, I have 21 points. And I'm thinking this to myself. I'm like, man, I'm doing the same moves I've been doing since elementary school. I ain't had to change nothing. And they're working. Same old moves. Dale Brown stops me at the door coming in. We lost that game. He says, we're going to need you to score more. I said, Coach, I'll try. My third game, I'm a freshman. I have 48. Fourth game, 36. Fifth game, national television, #1 team, Florida. In Florida, I scored 53. I'm nervous, I'm shaking. I'm on the bus, looking out the window, crying like a baby. I mean, crying. I'm like, man, this ain't supposed to be happening. This is too good to be true. I ain't supposed to be doing this right now. I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm gonna get hit by a truck, plane gonna crash. I know something getting ready to happen to me because this ain't supposed to be happening. We get on the plane, it's raining and thundering and lightning. Normally the plane does this. The plane is doing this, it's moving like this, lightning. I say, I knew it! I knew it. And when we finally landed, I'm getting off the plane. I'm literally contemplating this time. I'm like, man, I was thinking about going to tell the coach. I said, Coach, listen, I want to play, but I don't want to fly. I just want to play home games. But you know, I had to suck it up. I said, you know what? Hey, man, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. Yeah, but we all gonna die. So let me go ahead. I come too far to stop. So my career, still to this day, by the grace and mercy of Allah, and Allah is the greatest, because I say that, and I'm going to go back, that when you make a decision to do something, you know how you say, when you take a step, Allah take many more towards you, right? Makes your path easy. Everything pretty much I dreamt of came true. The same numbers that I put up in high school, 32 and 28, 11 and 12th grade year, I mimicked. My first and second year at LSU. In high school, they was asking for autographs. They had to bring security guards sometimes to take me to the bus. Same thing that was happening at LSU. I still hold, right now, it's been 25 years, by the grace and mercy of Allah, I still hold the NCAA freshman scoring record throughout the nation. Nobody has broken it. The only person that has come close, 2-3 points, is Kevin Durant, who's in the league. It still stands.